just before recording this, I was listening to the classic Opie and Anthony content where they went through the Mel Gibson tapes. It was fucking hilarious. The chemistry's insane. The comedy's dark. It's perfect, perfect, perfect.
Well, those tapes were easy to make into entertaining content. When Mel Gibson's screaming you're a dishonest to his girlfriend over and over again, and then
Well,
she should smile and blow him. I mean, I think you and I could put together a show that would get a bunch of views if we were the first ones playing that.
well, speaking of getting a bunch of views, and well, actually, no, it's a bad segue. But on the topic of Opie and Anthony,
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, of course, this is back in November, not in December. The great Opie did an episode of his podcast with Stalker Patty,
Yeah.
which quite potentially is the single worst podcast ever created. It was fucking boring. The quality, the audio was dog shit. I don't know exactly what the fuck Opie thought was going to happen. He got this stupid old woman on who clearly didn't have any type of podcast and stuff. Yet Opie was the worst part of it.
I gotta check this out. I haven't seen this.
Are you kidding?
I kid you not. I have to watch a lot of bad podcasts, so I don't always catch up on all of them.
Oh my God. Well, what happened is she was using her phone. She didn't have headphones in. She had the volume up on her phone, so there was a lot of echo throughout the whole thing. And Opie's out in the beach going, so, yeah, you remember being on Opie and Anthony?
Oh,
And
God.
it was the fucking, it was like watching the video that Rusty's seen in True Detective.
Yeah.
That's
So it's funny that you say that because Stalker Patty was on the Anthony Cumia show not long ago. Now, he didn't have her as a guest. She was there watching him, and he talked to her a few times. There was a microphone next to her. But what he mostly did is not let her talk. And it was great because it was the Anthony Cumia show. That's the problem with Opie. He has no content. He doesn't do any prep work. He doesn't know what he's going to talk about. So you bring on someone like Stalker Patty, who also has nothing to talk about, and nothing's going to happen. That's the reason why Stalker Patty was entertaining back in the day, is there was prep being done to it. There was a segment. People would produce things to get her to do that would make it interesting. And now you just talk to her and you're like, this is boring as shit, I believe is the way that Bonnie would say it.
It's boring as shit.
Yeah, but the thing about that episode that was so shocking to me was exactly what did Opie think was going to happen. And because he brought this lady on who's, to quote Tupac Shakur, a few sandwiches short of a picnic.
Yeah.
I love that song. She was clearly not ready, yet Opie brings her on. And it's like, what are you? So my theory is Opie secretly works for you.
That could be.
Yeah.
He's trying to give me content now.
Yeah, it's like it's the lowest point. Like this is worse than him waking up the day after Karl and Vic's incidents.
Yeah. So this is the thing, Hughezy. This is what Opie doesn't understand about himself, is that Stalker Patty is a train wreck of a guest. And that's supposed to be the funny part. You bring this person on who's clueless, who's out of it, and you can kind of like goof on her. The problem is Opie is also clueless and out of it. So he doesn't come across as like this guy goofing on her. It comes across as too having a conversation. And what's funny about that is that when Opie was on with Stuttering John on Stuttering John's show, Opie was dunking on John. So what does that say about Stuttering John if Opie can't keep up with Stalker Patty and he's dunking on Stuttering John?
But it got even better, which I think Opie has edited it. Fuck me, cut it down from what at one point her audio got so bad that Opie got up and walked off, but he forgot to end the stream.
Oh, great.
So she's just sitting there going, where is he? Where did he go? And she's just sitting there staring at this blank screen, and Opie gradually appears back in camera with his coffee to turn the thing off. It was fucking, it's sad to see because, again, he's Opie, he's this legend, and he's now the worst.
Well, hold on a second. That's where I got to stop you right there. And I want to know what your opinion is because you're still watching these shows. So lately when I've watched Opie, he's growing on me a little bit. He does all these voices all the time. It's nonsense. He's just reacting to whatever people are writing in the chat to him. He's turned into an entire character that he never used to be. And if we didn't know that he was from the Opie and Anthony show, the show that was highly entertaining and really well done, and we just saw this version of Opie now, it's almost charming. You'd almost go like, wow, look at this 6-year-old lunatic ranting into his phone on the internet. This is kind of interesting. What's going on here? Why is he sitting in his car waiting an hour and a half to move it because he doesn't want to pay for parking in Manhattan? Like, what's going on? This is insane. And I got to admit, there are times when I'm listening to a show or watching a show lately where I'm like, this is kind of entertaining. It's a little bit funny to me.
I think that it's got to this point where, and I know it's rude to me, it's not rude, but it's a bit harsh. I think he's starting to inherit mental health issues.
You think?
Yeah. Like I've got a great idea for the episode. I'm gonna go outside the restaurant and say, hey, put your mask on.
So I talked to a guy who used to work with him very closely, and we were trying to do a little bit of an analysis on what's going on with Opie. And his thought was, and I agree with this, he is a lonely, lonely man. When you don't have friends and you don't have those types of interactions, the guy needs a bowling night. What this guy is doing on his fucking podcast is his version of bowling night. All of his buddies come on. I was just watching a video someone posted on our subreddit this morning where it's him, some guy laying in his bed in Minnesota, some other guy who's in like a corporate office at a cubicle. He just brings on random listeners on and they just like talk about nothing. They were talking about how many lakes there are in Minnesota. Did you know there's 12,000 and not 10,000 lakes in Minnesota? Oh, you don't say, Opie. That's incredible. Great content, but it's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, his on his most recent episode, he just had Pat Duffy.
Yeah, that's one of his buddies. Yeah,
and Pat Duffy was driving while doing it, and it's like you used to have fucking presidential people come in. You interviewed all the greatest rock stars in the world. Now you can't even get a listener to give you enough respect to say, yeah, let me get home. I'll put my headphones on. I'll set the microphone up, and we can record this episode. It's like even the fans are now too good for the destroyer.
Right, because Pat Duffy was just a regular listener on the show, right? And a regular caller on Opie and Anthony. That's why we even know who he is. It's not like he's a famous person. And he's not even like going to be home at a certain time in order to be on the Opie show. He's like, well, I got to run errands, but yeah, I can hop on with you. That's fine. No problem. You know what's interesting though, too? And you tell me what you think about this, because I've seen people say, wow, he used to be such a great interviewer. The thing about Opie is he's really good at interviewing people, because we're always trying to figure out what is he good at, right? He was on this huge show. You have, obviously, Anthony and Jim, who are the funny people on the show, but Opie's got to be good at something. He's got to have a role on the show. So, maybe he's good at interviewing people. He's terrible at it. He doesn't listen to answers, doesn't prep anything beforehand. He barely knows who he's talking to half the time. I think about that Ray Liotta interview he did where he's just staring at the guy. And Ray Liotta's like, is this guy okay? What's wrong with him? Like, Opie's so out of it. Even the guests could pick up on the fact that he has no idea what he's doing. And it's funny that when Opie does have people on the show, which is rare that he would have a guest on the show, it's worse than when he's just talking to his chat somehow. Him talking to his chat is more entertaining to me than when he has a guest on the show, which is probably why he never went that route where he realized that that's not working for him, having guests on the show. It's not good.
But it's insane because I used to love the questions he would ask on Opie and Anthony. But now it's like he would get, say, Jim Florentine on, who I love. And he would go, so tell me about your wife fucking killing herself. And it's like, do you miss your dead wife who killed herself? And it's like, Opie.
Did he really do that? Is that really a question he asked Florentine?
Well, no, but I'm just,
Maybe you should ask Florentine that next time you have him on the show.
Oh, I don't think he's coming back because of what I asked him about Robin Quivers. I asked if how was the beach?
Yeah, that's a good question, I think.
I can't answer that. Come on.
It is funny how much grief he gets for that. I saw him do stand-up, and people were yelling out Robin Quivers at him. He's like, yeah, I used to date Robin Quivers. All right, what do you want? He immediately gets turned off by any type of mention of that. Yeah, I know. I dated Robin. All right, you happy?
Yeah.
Glad I mentioned it. Is that good? Can I do my show now? Can I do the rest of my set now?
It was somewhere to drop a load, and I was happy. All right.